There we go. Hey, welcome. This is James Maduke speaking, and we're live today. It's our open classroom. You're on the Training Sites channel on YouTube. Of course, it's teachonline.io, our community site where we show you all the stuff that's needed to teach what you already know and do online. And whether that's just doing tutorials or video lessons or actually building courses in a community, everything you need to know is there. And today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the if there's any questions you have, you can put them in the chat. Of course, any comments, put them in the comments below. If you are seeing this after the fact, these are held every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. They're open calls, unstructured. Obviously, I have an idea of what I'm going to cover, but they are open to questions. So if you do have any questions, feel free to just reach out again in the live chat, or in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you haven't yet, please make sure to register your free account at teachonline.io. Got a ton of resources there in addition to our paid courses, which are things like the Campus Mastery course, where we show you how to do all of this. And of course, if you don't have time, energy, you just want to teach stuff, you don't want to know all of the technical stuff, you just got this stuff in your head, you want to teach it online, you can certainly go to trainingsites.io, which is our agency, my agency, and we'll actually do the work for you. And that means setting things up, helping you create the courses, marketing the courses, and supporting your community after the fact. So that's available to you as well. If you just want to watch these videos and go, hey, okay, I know what I want to do now, but I just want to do the teaching part, I don't want to have anything else to do with that. That's certainly something that you can do with our agency. Well, we're here to do it with you. So that's some little housekeeping out of the way. One of the things I did want to touch on, just a quick update, is to do these live streams, the way we're actually doing them today is we use a tool. There's a number of tools available, obviously, but we use a tool called Ecamm Live, and that is specifically for Macs. And there's a whole bunch of reasons that I use it, and I'm using a Mac now, but we have Ecamm Live is actually coming out with a brand new version. I think it is tomorrow. So that's going to be kind of interesting because they're adding a number of cool things with that right now. They're going to change the way that I'm putting these together. And more importantly, the big thing that I think is lately, or since I've been using Ecamm Live, it only has the ability natively to paste to broadcast live events to YouTube. But starting tomorrow, the new version, we're going to be able to live stream directly to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Obviously, distributing the content more important. So we're going to be able to do that, which will be nice. So that happens tomorrow. If you're interested in finding out about Ecamm Live and how it works, I'll put the links below. Or if you just do a search on Ecamm Live actually on YouTube, you'll see there's a number of live streams that are going to be showing that. But I'll put it below as well if you haven't had a chance to look at it. Now, and actually, that's one of the things that I am going to cover. And again, if you have topics you want covered or things that you're unsure of, just go into, you can add them in the comments below. My preference, of course, is that you go to Teach Online and log into the community, and there's a whole bunch of places there for you to be involved in the community, ask some questions, put your posts in there, and also requests. So if there's a specific tutorial you want to see, or something that's troubling you, or you don't know how to do or what to do in a particular situation, ask there. And either someone in the community will hopefully have some experience to answer it, or I'll do a video up and do the research on it. So that's available to you. One of the things, the reason I'm mentioning that Ecamm Live is because right now there's a lot of people who are teaching online who are getting this all set up for their business or education business. And whereas in the past, everyone was just focusing on Zoom all the time, there's a number of tools like Ecamm Live and StreamYard and OBS. And if you don't know what those words are, that's why we're going to do some courses on them, on how to use them, other than using Zoom to be able to teach and have an education business. So got a little frog in my throat, so I'll have a sip of coffee here before we get into it. There we go. So questions, anything that's there. And of course, if you want to be updated when we have these live sessions, we're doing one every Wednesday. I've actually been doing live every morning too. But if you want to be updated, want to see all this great content, and you are interested in teaching online, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel here. It certainly helps us out, and it gives you access to all the additional materials and stuff that we cover. So I thank you for that if you haven't already. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to do a tour today of the teachonline.io course, and I'm going to show you the pieces that we put in place, or I put in place as a result of the campus map. And I'm going to step back for a little bit because it's important to know where this came from. Now, this original version of a membership site and how I learned all about this was My Small Biz University, which was a site where we had our videos that we had done in the past, and it was actually built on Joomla, if you're old enough to remember what that was, and then transferred over to WordPress. But that was a membership site. It wasn't a e-learning site. It was a membership site where it just had content protected behind a paywall, so that you actually had to purchase access to the content as a paid member. So we had free content and paid content, but that's where it came from. So I've been helping companies set up these e-learning campuses, but we didn't spend any time doing our own. So what I've done is I've transitioned a lot of the older content, and I'm starting to add new content from our own, the teachonline.io site. But what we're doing is we're using the campus blueprint that we use on the client sites. We're going to use it on our own site and see how that goes. So I'm going to do my best to go through a couple things today. And what I'll do is, let me see if I can get my trusty Stream Deck working properly. One of the other tools that learning how to use with this Mac here. So I'm going to see if we can get it working properly. I'm going to transition back and forth between this headshot thing here and or the campus blueprint or the screen that I show you what's happening there. So let's see if I can get that working. There we go. There's a screen in the background. So I'm just going to bring up the map here. And there we go. Okay, so we've got our map here, and I'm going to get rid of my headshot so the map is uncovered. And this is the blueprint that we have. And again, this is available for download. I'm showing you the 8 steps of the blueprint right here. The interesting thing is if you actually look down in the bottom of the screen, there's 216 steps in this map. So although I have a map here that shows 8 steps, there's technically 216 different steps. And you can see some of them, you know, there's 37 subtopics and so on. So there's a lot of material here. I'm going to show you what we did on teachonline.io and how this was applied to it, and specifically on how the campus is set up. So I'm not going to talk about the campus planning and goals, but I will talk about the business models. I am going to talk about setting up the actual WordPress site and what was involved there. I'm going to take a look at the learning track so that you can see how that works. A standard course checklist, how that works. How I build the courses, we'll touch on that. And then the pieces that are involved in marketing it, and specifically content marketing, which we're rolling out quickly. And then community rewards and engagement. So this is about the tools, or kind of the setup for this blueprint. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And hopefully we'll be able to have it set up so that I'm able to answer any of the questions that you have. So let's see. And I'm actually, I'm doing Ecamm here. So we're getting the hang of doing back and forth these live transitions between whether or not it's a headshot or the screen and a headshot, removing the headshot from. I want to do one other thing here and see if I can bring this up. And what I'm talking about in this case is I want to have a window that shows me, let's show all the utility windows here. So you might be able to just give me a second here. I'm going to move some of them. Network cameras I don't have, so just give me 1 second here. I wanted to have the chat. There it is. There we go. Tim Hortons. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, there we go. Bible tips me. I'm using a new camera. Yes, I am using a new camera. That's actually a good question, and we'll get to that in more detail. But this is a Insta360, and I'll put the link below to it. The thing that's interesting with this, and one of the things that I struggle with personally, is I have what's called rosacea, which is a reddening of the face. And one of the things that I'm struggling with and still don't have perfect is this whole notion of getting the right screen color for my face and the background and the lighting put together. So it's still something that I'm struggling with, and it is part of teaching online, is if you are going to show a headshot or a background, for example, that I just had redone and cleaned up, but still getting the lighting right in the cameras is important. The camera is and I'll actually, let me just look here to give you I'll put it in the chat actually, I think it's Insta360 is what I had. So I'm going to put this in the chat, and if it doesn't work, let me know. It's a Instalink 360. It's actually similar to a GoPro. It's a 4K camera, so it does very, very high resolution. The part that's neat with it is it actually has some AI built into it, and a couple things that it does is, for example, if I move around the room, it'll actually follow me, which is kind of cool. The other thing it does is it will basically, if you have a whiteboard, which we haven't done yet, is it allows me to stand and work in front of the whiteboard and actually use hand gestures to zoom in, zoom out, and it'll actually stay focused on the whiteboard as I'm writing and let me walk around and keep focused on the whiteboard. So it's a kind of a neat tool. It is a little more expensive than a traditional computer webcam, but it offers quite a bit of extra stuff. So yes, that is a piece of technology that we're using, and it's the camera, the Instalink 360, is available for any PC, so that's not a problem. What was the other? That was a camera. Yeah, that's a camera that we're using. So yeah, so let's go back. I want to go back just to the map here for a second. And we'll go back and open this up here. So here's kind of the gist. One of the things I'm going to open up, I'm going to do a little bit on the business model. So in the business models, when you have a training site and you're building an education business, one of the second step there is, once you've kind of got a vision of what you want, one of the things that you have to do is really consider how, if you're going to earn money from it, it's like, how am I going to earn money from it? What is it that I'm going to do in terms of my business? How am I going to set it up so that I'm in a position where I can generate some revenue from the teaching that I'm doing? So you figure, okay, great. How am I going to get paid? That's one thing. The second thing is you have to decide, how am I going to earn money over and above just the teaching? Because if it's a business, an education business, the teaching that you do, whether it be a course or a live coaching or webinars or whatever you end up doing in front of the camera or live with people online, are you going to be generating income or selling stuff other than these videos and courses? Because if you are, that changes kind of the business model that you've set up and the different tools that you need. So one of the things that I knew for mine is that, first of all, I wanted to sell courses. That was the first thing. Secondly, I knew that I had memberships that I wanted to sell. So I wanted to sell courses one-off. So if someone paid something for access to a course, they got the course. Whatever was in the course, they got access to it. They paid for that one course, they got it. I also knew that I wanted to have a membership where people could pay on a monthly basis or a yearly basis and have access to all of the courses. So that was something that I knew I wanted to do. The other thing is that I had maybe some additional services that were over and above selling a course, whether that be a one-on-one coaching or a group coaching. So if I had, video tutorials that people watch, maybe I wanted to have it where the course had a blended learning where I was doing videos and live training, having those together. So there's a whole bunch of variations that I wanted just on the teaching part, but there was other things, like, for example, if you want merchandise, there's a big push now with the YouTube content creators, and there should be, if you're building out an education business, is to build that whole brand with merchandise. There's a number of sites that would allow you to sell your own basically merch. So you can design t-shirts and hats and all of this, hoodies, all this stuff, have the logos set out, and you earn money on anything that's sold of the merchandise that you have with your brand. If you are creating digital products like downloads, templates, workbooks, any additional things other than the course that you want to charge money for, you got to be able to get paid for that. So what we did in our particular business model, and I'll show you how this works in the background, is we actually use WooCommerce, which is a WordPress plugin. And the reason that we use it is because I can do all of those different things in one place. If you don't think this through, what happens is you may end up having a way to buy a course with one system, the way to buy merchandise with another system, the way to purchase templates and digital downloads with another system that doesn't manage access to the downloads. If you're going to do live coaching, you may have access to another system. And if you are building an education business, it can be a nightmare very quickly if you don't kind of think through the business models that you're doing. So how did we set this up? And I'm going to open this up here, see if we can go inside. And let's open one here. So we got the page here. I'm just going to get rid of my head, and you can actually see how I've got this one set up. And let's go to the site. We just did a bit of an update there on some of the pieces in the background. And so what I put together here is I have WooCommerce set up with WordPress. And if someone goes and wants to purchase something in this particular case, and I'm going to log out here so we don't see it. If someone wants to join or log in, they're going to log in, and we'll log in as James here. You're going to log in. I've got my shopping cart set up so that it provides access to the site, and it gives me one place. So this is actually a live tour of a site for a user. So I've got a shopping cart here, and because I've registered for this, any of the purchases that I've made and the access that I get to the site, the access I get to the courses, the accesses I get to the downloads are all in one place on my website. And for me, when I'm logged in here, I can go and see that by just going down to the bottom here. I can see what courses I have. There's a profile here on the left-hand side, but the most important one with my setup is when you're logged in, you have a personal menu on the left-hand side. And these are the ones that are specific to you as a user being logged in. So the one that on the left-hand side you can see is my billing. So I'm going to click on that, and this is WooCommerce. And this shows me all of the purchases that I've made, whether they be orders, subscriptions, downloads. My support is here. Affiliate area, account details, everything is here in one place. So that's good for the customer, but it's also good for me as the site owner, because now everything that I'm doing with the customer is in one place. You can, obviously, if you have another business or if you have multiple sites, that's when you got to think through, is there some other options that are available to me that I should consider? And that's where you might want to end up using a third-party shopping cart that allows you to sell from other websites and other parts of your business and have it centralized as well. So this is how I set it up for this, because I just want to keep people here. I want to be able to be in charge in one place, and I want to make it easy for people who want to manage their billing, who want to know, I purchased something, do I have a subscription? Are my downloads available that I purchased? Do I have a shipping address? How do I manage my billing? it's right here with WooCommerce that's set up on my end, and that's what the customer sees. Okay. So, you're thinking, okay, great, I got that. How does that do with my business model again? So if I go back and we take a look at that map, and I'll open this up a little bit, and hopefully we'll do some questions here. There we go. So the things that are important here, I'll move that over hopefully so you can see it. Just when you're thinking this through up front, just remember, are you going to be selling a course or courses or campus? So do you want to sell one course? Do you want to sell a bunch of courses? Do you want to have a courses and community? And do you want to have multiple products? Okay, that's kind of the first thing that determines what kind of business model you have and the tools that you need. Are you going to do free, single, or recurring charging for your courses? Are you going to have membership levels? And are there additional pieces or deliverables that you're going to offer to people? So pick this business model first, and there's a whole bunch of options available that we cover in the Campus Mastery course. But I just want you to remember, if you can keep things singular or to yourself in terms of making sure that it's easy for the user and easy for yourself, that's the optimal piece in my opinion. The one thing I will say, just to keep in the back of your mind, is if you are going to use a third-party service to manage how you get paid and that business model part, just make sure that you're thinking in the long term. You may have heard me mention before in some of the other tutorials we've done, I've been through 6 or 7 billing systems now since I've been online, whether that be QuickPay Pro or One Shopping Cart or Keep, which is now called Keep. There's all sorts of them. Easy Digital Downloads. There was a whole bunch of them that were available. So you got to think this through as to how you want to have this set up. My personal preference is to control it and have it on WordPress. Doesn't have to be that way, but whatever you pick, make sure that it supports the particular business model that you've put together. Okay, so that's kind of the first piece. What did I do there? We've got WooCommerce taking care of it, and I've got it set up so that I can charge for courses, membership levels for a campus. We can make multiple membership levels, and I can sell additional products and services from this site as they relate to this one site. Okay, so if there's any questions on that, of course, make sure to put that up, and we'll see if I can actually, we've got some more questions there. There we go. Tim Hortons. No more questions. That's fine. That's actually the interface to the Ecamm Live if you're looking at it now. So that's another kind of piece of the puzzle, some of the technology that I end up using, and we'll get to that shortly. So let me close this off. So what's next? Okay, so I know what kind of business I'm set up, so what do I need to have in my campus? So I'm going to show you the stack of tools that we have inside, and I'll show you how the user sees it as the user. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'm just going to go and we'll go back to the screen here, and we're going to go to the home page or the dashboard. I'm logged in right now as a user, and I'm going to show you the pieces that I get to see, and then I'll show you from the back end what's providing that. So the first thing I have here is, if you cross on the top of the menu, you'll see we've got dashboard. This is a dashboard that is set up with Elementor, the page builder, which is a WordPress tool. By the way, this is on WordPress. We've got WordPress as a platform. So it's a traditional WordPress hosted, self-hosted WordPress site. There's nothing special about the WordPress hosting. We provide it for our customers on the agency side if you do need hosting and a managed campus like this. But any hosting, solid hosting will do. I suggest getting managed hosting if you are going to be serious about building a community, because it does use more resources than just a standard website that shows up a page. So this is the WordPress version. I've got it set up. WordPress.org. We've got WordPress installed on our dedicated server, so that's where this is. We've got a page builder, and the page builder is Elementor. And this is a page called a dashboard, which I created in Elementor. And the whole idea behind this is that when someone comes into the site, they can go to the dashboard and get quick access to all of the various pieces of the site, but it's a dashboard that's specific to them. So for example, I can, at the top here in the top half, I can pick up where I left off. So if I was working on a course or working on a lesson, it will bring me back directly to where I left off. I can also view all of my courses. I can look at any of the groups that I'm in and see what's going on there. I can go directly to social groups or activities kind of thing. I can see what's happening in the community and any of the forums. So this is a dashboard, a good place to start. It's a simple way to get started for users after they log in, so they don't have to kind of get hung up on whereabouts they are and what they should be doing next. So that's the dashboard. That's set up. It's using Elementor. Okay. Now, I showed you this interface, for example, where on the left-hand side we've got all of these little sub-menus. You might be asking, well, where does that come from? This campus that we've set up uses a WordPress theme called BuddyBoss. And BuddyBoss is an offshoot of BuddyPress, which is a WordPress plugin that allows you to build community sites on top of WordPress. And BuddyBoss is kind of interesting. It's a plugin now that took all of the different pieces of BuddyPress and basically got it packaged in together with a really nice theme. So this template is the BuddyBoss theme, and we've installed the BuddyBoss platform, which is free to get started, that provides this whole package of community services for our campus. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the ability to do groups. So think of this for your Facebook groups, for example. Exactly the same as a Facebook group. So if you want to go get in and just find out about general discussion, just what's going on, how do I get started, where are the questions or documents. This is just like a Facebook group. It's available to you. That's part of the BuddyBoss platform, is the ability to do groups. And me and our campus, I'm controlling the groups. If you want to, you can make the groups open just like Facebook, but that one, we've got groups. The other thing that BuddyBoss does is it allows you to have discussion forums. So you can have a group which allows you to have courses in the group, have documents and photos, have it private to members, but you can also have a discussion forum that's part of the group. So BuddyBoss provides discussion forums. And I've got that one in the community. I've got forums attached to groups, but I've also got a separate menu item here, which gives you access to all of the forums throughout the entire site. So these ones are here as well, and there's even some sub forums as well. Okay, so those are forums. I got groups, I got forums. The other thing that I have here is, if you take a look, is chat. And the chat is basically an activity stream, just like in Facebook. When you've got your feed in Facebook, this is everything that's happening on the site that pertains to you. So it's stuff that's happening on the site in general, or people that you have friended as a member or joined as a member. It allows you to interact with them exactly the same way as you would on Facebook. But again, this is your Facebook. This is your campus. This is your community. So we've got groups, we've got forums, we've got the chat or the activity. And the other thing I've added here is I wanted to have live classes. So there's two places that I've got live classes, and I'll show you the one now. So if I'm going to open up my classes, this is a WordPress plugin for BuddyBoss. There's two of them that I recommend. One's called the Modern Event Calendar from webus.net. Again, I'll put the links in below. And then there's also the Event Calendar, which is another standard WordPress one. So both are available. Both work well. There's a couple neat things that happen with them both. And if you take a look, this is the Event Calendar WordPress plugin that's put in. I have the paid version, which does two things that were frustrating to me that I wanted to fix. The first one is it allows me to do recurring events. So for example, we do this every Wednesday at 1. I can schedule it once and say run it for 52 weeks. It'll schedule in the calendar the same event over and over again with the same information. Just the dates updated, of course. If I didn't get that, I would have to each week put the details in and schedule it each week. So that allows me to do that. The other thing that I've got is one of the extensions that allows for virtual events. So if you're going to be teaching online and you are going to have live classes like this, one of the nice things is when you're filling in the events, you can say, hey, it's a virtual event, and it gives you the opportunity to include things like a Zoom link or a live webcast link, and it puts it directly in the calendar. So we've got classes here. By default, I've got it in a list. You can adjust how it looks, whether it be a day view or a month view. I just have these two available. And if I look at this one, for example, let's do this one. Question and answer call on the 30th, which is the Zoom call for the paid members. If I look here, it lets me know it's a virtual event when it is. And you can see that it's automatically put all the Zoom details in for people, and it allows you to add it to the calendar. Okay, details. And that's the stuff that I've got here. So there's no description with this, but it has all of the Zoom details put in. And this is done directly within the campus, within the WordPress software. So that's one place to do live events. The other one that I'll show you, and I think this one will work, or we'll see it here, is I've also got it hooked up. BuddyBoss allows you to do live events attached to a group, which is kind of neat. So I think, let me see if I can open this one here as a group with this member logged in. Yeah, here we go. So one of the things is when you have a teaching group or a group that you're teaching a course to that includes a live forum or a discussion, or it's often called a cohort, where you want to have a course that runs from a certain period of time to a certain period of time on a regular basis, and people take the course together. One of the things that's really great is saying, hey, this course for these members, if you're a member of this group, you get access to the Zoom calls. So in this example here, you can see that this group, which is the Campus Mastery group, on this one, we've got a Zoom tab now set up. And in that one, you can see that we now have the meetings. So me, as the manager of this, I can schedule upcoming meetings, and all the recordings for the past meetings are there. So this was a kind of a nice feature to add, because if you do regular calls as part of a course, it's often hard to keep track of, well, we recorded that, where did I put it, where is it, kind of thing. This one, if you are part of this group, you have access to the Zoom calls upcoming, and you have access to the Zoom calls that have already finished. And they are just listed here, the past ones. And again, they're available, and you're notified right away. And me as the instructor, I'm in a position where I can go and say, hey, you know what, here's all the additional pieces that are involved, like whether or not people get notified, whether it's a recurring meeting, does it require registration? All of these pieces are available here. And in WordPress, from my point, all I'm doing is I'm using the BuddyBoss software, in this case, the BuddyBoss paid platform, and it allows me to basically hook up my Zoom account to any of the groups that we set up, which is a really, really great feature if you're going to be teaching online and you want to make sure that you can actually keep people engaged and do this whole thing with blended learning. So classes, community, access, blog posts. I have regular blog posts that are there. We also have podcasts, and that's in the content marketing strategy that we're using. So I'll show you those ones. And then the other thing here is we have the courses. So I'm going to click on courses right now across the top menu. And in this, we're using the LearnDash plugin, and it works beautifully with BuddyBoss. So in our listing of courses here, if you only have one course, you'd only have one of these little squares showing. So you wouldn't necessarily have to show a listing of courses, but this LearnDash plugin is a learning management system, an LMS, and it is a way for you as an instructor or someone who's wanting to teach courses to do a number of things. And that one is the ability to certify people if you decide to do that, to be able to test people live on what they've learned, to control access to the lessons in the order that you want them delivered and when you want them delivered. So it's a whole complete learning environment that you're controlling when you have an LMS. If you only have one video, you don't need an LMS. You just need to have a page with some videos on it. If you only have one course, you can have this set up that your courses menu just goes directly to a course, for example. So if I went and took a link at the Campus Mastery course, if I only had one course, I could have this as the page that sells basically or makes available that one course. And there's different ways of adding the content here. I'll show you the pieces. This is the default way it gets displayed when you're using the BuddyBoss theme. And so this is a great looking page. You can see, for example, that we have the ability to know when someone or how far along they are in completing it. We've got a full description where you can actually sell the course and let people know what's going on. And we've also got a listing of all of the different modules, lessons, and topics that are included in this course. So 8 modules, 44 lessons that are here, all of the steps in order. It's a controlled package of my tutorials, text, downloads, videos, audios, everything is in one place. So if you're going to use an LMS, you should have at least one course. If you don't have one course yet, you're just doing individual standalone tutorials, you would probably just want to go and use the traditional blog that is available in WordPress or some pages and basically create out your pages for the site. So here's some examples where we've taken some of the YouTube videos that we have and created blog posts from them. So all sorts of ways available to create the content. We got a community, we got classes, we got courses, we got groups, we got discussion forums, we got activity feeds. Everything is there. There's one piece that I'm going to show you, and it kind of shows up if I go back to the dashboard here. And again, I'm going to go back into, I'll take a look back at WordPress so you see the plugins where they are. But these are the things that the learner sees, right? These are the things that they see while they're going on. But if I take a look here, oh, what's this? I got an award for something, didn't I? Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I have set up here is something called gamification. And this is where we're letting people earn points for activities and get rewards and levels for interacting on the site. So this is something that we just turned on. It's a plugin called GamePress. And again, I'll show you that one in the background where you can set up what people get awarded for, what they get for those awards in terms of rewards and levels. So it really allows you to give other people a reason to get involved on the site, or at least motivate them to do different things. And you as the instructor or the campus owner can actually provide some guidance or entice people to do different things. So this particular one, I got 5 points for creating a new forum or group topic. So that's how I earned some points here. If I go and take a look, let me just do one other thing here. I'm going to go to, let me go back to, I'm going to go back to, go to a blog post here. And I think I've got it set up here. There's one we did, best YouTube video formats. Yeah, I don't have it on that one, sorry. So I have it actually in one of the sidebars on the site where it shows me what levels, rewards, and stuff that I've received. If I go and I do get involved on the site, I am going to earn some points. And speaking of getting involved, one of the things that BuddyBoss does really well that is a benefit if your community gets larger is that it does allow you to interact with other members. And if at any point, let me just go, I'm going to go to my profile here on the left-hand side. I have a profile that's specific to me, just like a Facebook page. And this is something that lets me know if I ever want to find out, how many points do I have? Where are my social media things? What courses I'm involved in? What are the groups I'm in? What have I been doing? Who am I connected to? Do I want to invite someone? So this is my personal profile. I can make friends with other people on the site as members and message them, interact with them, do what I want here. So for example, if I want to go and let's say, for example, I want to go and message Stephanie. Nice to have you on today, Stephanie. If I go and message Stephanie, I can, take a look at what she's doing here, what group she's in. And of course, Stephanie can control this as well. But if I ever want to, I can just send a message to Steph. And I can do that directly from here on the campus, just like you would on any of the other normal community sites that you're involved in. So I can just send a message and send it away. And what's going to happen is Stephanie is now going to get a message directly, and we can go back and forth with this as well. We've also got a place up here on the top menu here for messages so that I know whether I've got messages or ones that I should respond to. They'll be there as well. Okay, so a lot of kind of neat things here in the background. Gamification, community, courses, classes, it's all in one place. So how did this all get started? Where is it from? What pieces am I using? Well, let's go take a look at that. And again, if there's any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. And in the chat or in the comments below, or make sure to sign up at teachonline.io and get involved there in this community as well for access to a lot of the courses, tutorials, and the ability to ask questions here as well. So I'm going to log out here and we'll log in as someone else for a second. And let's go back in just in the meantime while they're happening. I'm just going to take a look. We got a campus set up. I'm showing you the campuses there. I'm going to do the plugins. How long have I been going for? 45 minutes. So I'm going to go over the plugins that I used and kind of where they are and some of the setups that are available. If you are wanting to know about kind of the other little pieces for building out the courses, I'll show you how to enter a course in. We do have the Course Mastery course that's coming up that does show you how to actually build and put all these courses together. What I will do is I will tell you the setup I have for capturing videos now and the tools that I'm using, but I'm not going to go into actually how to create a physical course. And then the communities and rewards, which is kind of in the campus setup. So, and marketing the campuses is also kind of neat too. So I'll do my best to kind of do these in a way that makes sense on the surface without getting too deep in the weeds here. And that's maybe one thing just to to kind of keep in mind is that when you're doing these kind of campuses, you have the choice as to, if you're building an education business, you have the choice on how involved or how much you want to build your community and your campus, whether or not you just want to rent one. Because at the end of the day, if you are just have a website already and you just want to sell some courses, there are third-party tools that let you teach online in terms of selling a course. If that's all you need to do, you can use any of the third-party services. They can be expensive and quite limited, and they're disconnected from your business for the most part. But if you have one course and you just want to get something out and be able to sell for it, there's some great services that are available for you, like Thinkific or Teachable, or I think there's a new one called Uscreen. There's a number of them that are independent of your website and your business. And if that's enough for you, that's what I'm talking about, that business model. You're not going to set up a campus. You're going to rent a campus from someone else. Again, depending on your vision and depending on what you want to do in terms of your business model. So I'm going to go back here. Let's go back and we'll take a look at my screen here, and I'll log in as the user, and it took me to the wrong place. So let's go double P admin, and I'll just see if I can get logged in here. And okay, so don't look what we're doing here. So I'm going to log in as administrator, and I'm going to show you the plugins that we have that provide the different pieces that we just went over. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see that we've got LearnDash, which is the LMS plugin. That's the one that takes care of the courses and the way the courses are delivered and the certification and the testing and quizzes. That's LearnDash. The other one that we have here underneath is BuddyBoss, and that is the community platform that holds all of our campus, our school together. I also have Fluent CRM, Fluent Support and Forms, which is for marketing the campus. So that's one piece that's there. I've also got the events. So we talked about the event calendar being able to have classes. That's the events. I'll show you that one in a second. We've got podcasting, which is part of the marketing. You'll see how that fits in a bit. And this allows you to have any of the audios that you're capturing, have them automatically posted to iTunes, to Spotify, to Amazon, to Google. All of the podcasting, you can actually distribute them out automatically. I've also got Affiliate WP, another way to market it for setting up your business. Thirsty Affiliates, which is a way to promote other people's products and get paid for it. In fact, I put a Thirsty Affiliate link, I think it was the right one, in the chat for the camera, the Insta360. So you can create links, be able to track them, have them on your site, and know whether or not someone has clicked or not clicked. I have Rank Math for doing search engine optimization. And then I also have GameImpress for doing the achievements and all of the gamification. I've got WooCommerce for doing the checkouts, and I've got Elementor for doing some page building. So we're all set up there. We've got all of these tools. It's all done right within WordPress on this site. So I'm going to show you the BuddyBoss one just for the campus so that you can see it, what's available and what the pieces are. And again, these are totally customizable, and that's one of the things that's nice for, I think, for people who are, who want to have more control of it, or have unique situations that they want to be able to kind of adjust or adapt what they're doing specifically to their school or campus, and they're limited by the other services. So, these are things you kind of have to think about. The ones that I'm going to show you, I've got everything turned on. You don't have to turn them on. You can turn almost none of them on if you want to. There's no rule that says, hey, you got to make sure that you use these ones. There's only two that are mandatory: the profile and the fields that keep your profile. But those are the only two you have to have, is that profile. So we've got account settings, notifications, social groups. So that was the one, groups. We can turn that on or off. And when you're doing a group, again, I'm going as fast as I can here, but don't want to get too deep in the weeds. When you do a group, the thing that's interesting for me is that you can have the groups, you can control how they look, and you can have nested groups, and you can also set the groups up in 3 different ways. And what do I mean by that? What you can do is you can say, I have a public group that everyone has access to see what's in it, and they just have access to it. They can say, I want to be part of it. They're part of it. We have a private group, which is one that shows the group name and the introduction to it, but you have to request to have access to it. Exactly same thing as a Facebook group. And then we have hidden groups. And hidden groups are ones that people who are not registered, they don't get to see it. They didn't even know it exists. So we can control the different kind of groups that we want. That's totally up to us to be able to do that. So groups you can have. I've got ours set up. We've got forums. And forums are traditional discussion forums. What often a membership site had at the start was, what they called a community was a discussion forum. It's just a place to have live streams of questions and answers, to put there, so we can have as many forums as we want, and they can be separate or attached to groups. Okay, so revisions, favorites, all sorts of stuff, group forums, a directory, an index. We can control how they look and work. I've got activities. This is your Facebook feed, your activity feed. It's all of the stuff that's happening on your site, but you can control what you want in it. So do you want to have it show when someone gets connected, or a member creates a group, or someone joins? Do you want to have WordPress posts show up, WordPress comments? Do I want courses to show up in it? Quizzes, challenge, certificates. You can control what shows in the feed, and also, more importantly, who sees what in the feed. If you want it to be open where everyone sees everything, you can do that. But if you want to have it so it's personalized, so that people only see what their friends are doing and talking about in the feed, you can have that set up as well. So we've got messages, notifications, connections, invites, all of that stuff is available here in terms of the BuddyBoss platform. The other thing that we have here at the bottom is, if you see there's theme options, I have the theme installed as well. And this controls the look and feel of my campus or of my school. And these are the things that are all available to us: colors, logos, that buddy panel, which is the sidebar that was on the left, how the footers look, logins, registration, all of the stuff that you have in a normal WordPress theme. This is all available here as well. So this is 3 plugins. This is the free BuddyBoss plugin. This is the paid BuddyBoss Pro add-on. And this is the paid BuddyBoss theme. So the BuddyBoss plugin is free, and it gives you a lot of this functionality. The Pro allows things, for example, like being able to have the Zoom calls, and some additional integrations are available there in the Pro. And the theme changes the way it looks and feels, make it look the way you want. You don't have to use the theme. You can use a traditional WordPress theme. It will work as well. It just won't work the same. So those are the pieces that are there in BuddyBoss. I'll show you, let me just go up to LearnDash here. I'll open up the LearnDash one. This is the LMS I talked about, what controls the courses. You can use, this is a WordPress plugin. You don't have to use this one. There's a number of them that can be used, and I have some videos on those ones as well. I'll just show you quickly how the courses get created and what's involved in those. And we've got a listing of courses. I have 85 courses that were actually here, and right now only 37 are published. So we're starting to clean up and do the additional pieces that are there. So let me just go and let me do one. Here's one: how to earn money giving away courses. So if I want to take a look at that, there's a builder here. And the nice thing with LearnDash is it allows you to quickly build courses. And in fact, if you have a playlist on YouTube, you can actually import that playlist as a course in LearnDash. And in this case, I've got 13 lessons, and I've got a quiz after each lesson. So LearnDash allows you to create or structure your course and that content, and really control the experience on how people get involved in your course. There's 8 different ways of setting quizzes, whether it's multiple choice, single choice, yes or no, handed in assignment, all sorts of additional pieces there. And I will show you this one place for settings, because this is the one that most people kind of get involved in. And that one is who accesses the course. Is it open? Doesn't require registration? Is it free? Means you have to register to enroll in the course, but doesn't cost anything. You can actually sell courses directly right within LearnDash. Remember, we're talking about business models. And is it closed? And closed is one that if you're going to be using WooCommerce as an example, to be able to get paid for access to that course. Now, here's a kind of a neat thing. Prerequisites. Remember I talked about a learning track? You can control when people are able to take this course based on the courses that they've seen before. So that's kind of neat. The other one here is the progression. So if you have a course with multiple lessons, you can have lesson 1 available today, but you can have it set up that they can't take lesson 7, they have to take lesson 2. So it's a linear progression. They have to take the courses in order. And you can also set it up that they have to finish the entire lesson before they can go on to the next one. So in many cases, we've got it free form here, so they can watch as little as they want or as much as they want. But unless they finish the quizzes and answer all the quizzes, they can't say they completed the course. Linear ones, we can control it again very, very tightly as to how they see what parts of it and when they can consume those parts of it. Okay, so, and then some certification we can also provide as well for that. Is there a certified, a challenge exam, some additional course materials like handouts and stuff, they're included, but that is a course that's there. So that's the LearnTesh part, takes care of all of the courses. We've got the community part and the look and feel of it. What are some of the other pieces here? Well, I'm going to show you the events calendar because that's one for the classes. And I think that one, since I've been going an hour here, I think that one will be, I'll kind of go on to some other pieces here. But I wanted to show you the event calendar. This one allows us to create events, and you can see that we've got a number of them here, and some of them are recurring. But if I'm going to add a new event, when I add a new event, it's going to give me a number of unique options. Just a regular title. It looks like a regular WordPress post, but it allows us to have a start and an end time zones, whether it's multiple, and we can also assign locations here. So even if it, I'm assuming that you're doing online teaching or an online course, but we can configure virtual events. And that's where I was talking about if you want to have it so that it is a blended event, and I can use YouTube, Zoom, WebEx, etc. As long as I put the URL in, that will show up in the calendar. And I can even embed the video so that my YouTube live cast shows up in the calendar on my campus. Okay, so there's some really neat things that we can do there in terms of live teaching. That's available to us there as well, and that's in the event calendar. The other one I mentioned is the modern event calendar. Does something similar, just looks a little bit different, but very, very powerful tools for doing blended learning, teaching online with courses and with live classes. So kind of a cool thing there. Let me just, I'm wondering if there's one other one. I'll show you the GameApress one just so it's there, the gamification one. We use GameApress, and I'll open up the dashboard here. And this one can be complex, and you don't have to use it. Like, you don't have to use it. GameApress is free. It's a free plugin for WordPress again, but it does take a little bit of thought in getting it set up so that it makes sense for your business. And let me just go and, so on the left-hand side, you can see there's points types, points awards, point deductions, achievement types, steps, ranks, requirements, leaderboards, progress, user earnings. There's an awful lot that you can do there, but just think of it. What are the things that, as the instructor or someone who's teaching, what are the things that I want to have my learners do in terms of guiding them through the course process or the teaching process I have? The other piece is you're going, well, how do I motivate people to be involved in the course and on the campus and continue to do things? How can I motivate them? So there's a number of additional pieces that are there that allow you to do that. And I do have some video tutorials on that kind of go through that. What I wanted to show you is the ability or some of the add-ons that are available here. So, you got a progress map, notifications, pop-ups, things like that. And we've also got the ability to actually integrate with other tools and services that we're using. So in this particular example, you can see that BuddyBoss notifications. If I do something in BuddyBoss or if I do something in GameApress, it's going to actually notify you through BuddyBoss. That's an example of one. We've got things like birthdays, referrals, anniversaries, that kind of thing. What are some of the other ones here? Purchases. If you have purchases, if you want to give coupons based on the rewards and stuff that they've done. Additional ones, for example, WooCommerce, so you can give discounts based on what they've actually done on the site or not done on the site. So different ones for WooCommerce, Easy Digital Downloads. There's a number of them there that are all available for you to control the experience that people have on the site and allow them to really get involved with the site. So there's third-party ones as well. Directories, Memberium, different things. WP Fusion, which is a great tool that we use to integrate all of our sites together. Integrations, some examples. Affiliate WP is one there. So that's kind of a one I'll show you in a second, which is kind of nice. The Buddy Boss there. What's some other one? CoursePress, Elementor. Again, huge amounts of connections between the two. And we have Fluent CRM and Fluent Support, which are the other marketing tools that we use. Groundhog is another great one we use for some customers. LearnDash is here. Lifter LMS is a competitor to LearnDash. So we've got this huge opportunity where we can integrate our entire campus with a number of different tools and systems, but it's on our campus. And again, this doesn't have to be done here. You don't have to do all of it, but you have the ability to do it. So that's how we're set up. I've got everything here, which is probably the wrong idea in terms of introducing it. It should be introduced over time, but I wanted to show you some of the stuff that is available on the site here. Now, I'm going to, let me just go back here. I'm going to go back to so there's a lot of tools in here. I have a listing of the stack, by the way, that I can make available to. It's a map like this with all the different plugins that are used and maybe when you want to use it. But setting up that campus in these pieces, again, it has to do with your business model and how you want to teach whatever it is that you're teaching. Again, whether it's a single course or you want to build a learning campus, education business, the different tools that we use are ones based on that. And in my case, I put everything in, including the kitchen sink that is there. I will show you one kind of, what would I say? Well, I will show you one other tool that we have for marketing. We'll do two. So I've got Fluent CRM, which is a email automation tool that is tied directly to this campus. We also have active campaign accounts for other parts of our business. I separated these ones for a specific reason on our back end of our business. But Fluent CRM allows you to send out emails and messaging and track people as customers directly on the website and send messages to them. And that's a tool that's set up in terms of marketing them. The other one we have here is podcasts, and the other one we have here is affiliates. So this is kind of a neat one, and I'll show you this one. There's a setting that's particularly important for building out your business in terms of selling it. One of the things that is a good idea is if you have people joining, what you want to do is you want to entice them to promote your site and let other people know about the site. And if you aren't familiar with Affiliate WP, it's a WordPress specific tracking plugin that allows you to award commissions to people who invite or refer people to your site. One of the nice things with Affiliate WP is it's connected here, but the reason that we use it is it can be set up so that the minute someone joins the site, they are automatically an affiliate. So they don't have to raise their hand and say, I want to be an affiliate. They're just an affiliate automatically. And that is a setting directly within Affiliate WP. And let me just go back and we'll do that one at the bottom. If you remember where that one is. Remember where that one is. Got a lot of stuff here, man. Where did I do affiliates? If I can't find it, you'll just have to. There it is, Affiliate WP. So on this one allows you to obviously to do that, but in the settings, I have it set up that what we can do is we can have it automatically set up so that people can do it or be involved as an affiliate just by joining the site. And let me just see integrations. Can't remember where this one is, but this one's a affiliate is Affiliate WP is sign up. So someone signs up for the site, registers for the site, they're automatically there. Then we have a series of emails that go out that let people know that they just can share it and use this link, and they get a reward for it. So a super way to grow your membership and to grow your courses, again, built in directly into the system. So I'm going to go to the background here. I'm going to try and see if we can go back just to the camera for a second. And in background, what I'm going to do is see if there in short form video, what do we got here? There we go. Yeah, so one of the questions sorry about a little bit behind here. Are you planning to do anything on short form video? And the answer is yes. And that's short form video. This whole thing with using YouTube. We actually have a YouTube content marketing system in place that we just started to roll out. And I do have a course coming on that one. What I will show you, I'll go over it right now, kind of. And again, I did a session this morning on it actually, and part of it is on YouTube. But here's the snapshot. If you do a live event on YouTube, let's say you do a live webcast, or you have what's traditionally called a long form video or recording that you've done and you post to YouTube. So for example, in our setup, I do a live webcast like this. I use Ecamm to broadcast it live, and I record it so that I have the copy of it. That goes to YouTube. So I'm marketing on YouTube as long form content. What happens from there is that I make a thumbnail and a description and make sure that I optimize my YouTube post and have that up correctly. One of the tools we use is vidIQ to help us out with that in terms of the descriptions and titles. We use Snappa or Canva for creating the images for the YouTube content, but we get that part done first. Then I have the video, and I take the video from YouTube and I download it. And when I download it, the next piece of the puzzle is I bring it and I upload it to another tool called Descript. And again, I'll put the links. The links are in the download below. So once Descript has it, if you're not familiar with it, you can upload a video or an audio to Descript, and it will immediately transcribe it. So it'll take all the words that I have in that recording, and it will give me a transcription of the entire copy or entire video that I've done. So now I have the video. I also have the transcription. From the transcription, Descript allows you to clean out filler words. I have all the time, or there may be times where I just don't talk too frequently. If I cut out those sections in the text, it will edit the video and clean up the video. So I've now got a long, clean video. I've got a transcription. The other thing I can do from Descript is I can export the captions and the transcription. So if I export the captions, what I can then do is I can go back and take that file and I can add it to YouTube so that I have my closed captioning showing up on my YouTube video, my live event that I did. And now I've got the proper captions with the video on YouTube. I have a transcription and the text copy of whatever was said in the video, and I've got a clean video. So now I've got YouTube done, I've got a clean video. What happens next? What happens from there is I can then go and I can make a post on my website. Now, why do I want to do that? If I go back and I want to market my business, I can just say, go to YouTube, I just did a video. I can also say, here's a great video that I did on YouTube this morning, and I give them the link, but the link goes to a blog post on my website. I've just embedded the YouTube video on my blog post. I can tell people I went to YouTube, but the link brings people back to my website. I have the video updated that I did on YouTube. I've got the closed captioning that's there. Everything is there. I also have the transcription that I can put in as content in my blog post. Plus, I can optimize the copy that I have there for search engine. I have rank math that's there, so I can optimize it for all of the keywords, phrases, everything that's important for me to get better search rankings. I make that available now. It's on my website. The other interesting thing is I have the audio as well. So if I have the audio, I can now add that as a podcast in. I use Real Simple Podcasting, which is another plugin on WordPress. We didn't copy it today, but all I do is I put the description of the course that I had on YouTube and put in my blog post. I just add it to my podcast right within WordPress, and it will automatically get published to iTunes, Google Play, all of those different places where I've got my podcast out. So now I've got YouTube, I've got my website, and I've also got podcasting out. So I'm distributing the content all over the place. I haven't had to do anything other than record on YouTube. That was the creation of the content was there. And also I'm creating obviously some images on Snappa or Canva for the podcast header and the YouTube header. But I use the same YouTube thumbnail image. I use the exact same one on my blog post. I just have to make it a little bit square on the podcast because it's not the same size, but I can make two versions in Canva or Snappa very, very quickly. So I got the blog post, I got the podcast. What happens next, and I'm getting to this thing on the short form content. When I go and I have my blog post, I also have a social media posting service. And one that we have as a white label that we manage for people, it's called Content Studio. There's another one called SocialBee. There's a whole bunch of them, but the thing that you want to have set up is you have it set up where you connect all of your social media platforms, all of the popular ones. So LinkedIn pages, Facebook groups, Twitter accounts, Instagram, TikTok, you have it all set up that the minute that you have a post on your website, it will automatically post that update directly to all your social media sites. So all you have to do is you make a blog post, it does a social media post for you. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to be involved in that. It gets done for you automatically. It takes the image that is featured image with your blog post, it posts that directly. It takes the title, the first couple bits of text that are important, everything that's part of your blog post gets automatically posted to social media. And then the final thing is, okay, I've got this great video. It's posting to social media. What do I do next? I have an hour of content. What do I do with that content? Well, I use it to create short form video. And this is what happens is I use a tool called repurpose.io, and Repurpose, what it allows you to do is just take chunks of desktop size video, which is 16 by 9, and take pieces of it to change it to 9 by 16. And it allows you to cut and crop the different pieces that you want put in your short form video. So if I have something here, for example, I've got an hour and bit of content. I've got 75 minutes or 75 minutes right now of content. It means that I can go back, and if I'm on YouTube, I have 60-second chunks. I can take 10 60-second chunks if I want, or 6-minute chunks, and I can use as many or as little as I want, and I can now post that directly from my phone or from my YouTube account as a short. I don't have to recreate any content. I just have to crop existing content that I have. And the nice thing is for me personally, and why I'm a fan of the YouTube stuff as content and doing live, is because I don't have to edit. And I'm getting better now. The thing personally for me is it can be hard doing these kind of sessions where you've got screens going and you're doing a live into the camera, and then you're doing you're showing an app interface and you're doing a browser thing and you got a picture-in-picture. But as you get better at this, it's going to be kind of a nice setup where you don't have to do fancy editing. I have the transcription that's going to be showing after on this. I have the images, the featured image that I did on YouTube that I can use on the blog post and that I can use in the social media content. Now I'm just taking that short form content, and I'm posting it to YouTube, and repurpose.io will also post it directly into TikTok, for example. And I believe Instagram Reels now, it will do that as well. So you've got one place for content, and it's automatically posting or allows you to post in all these different pieces. And for content marketing, the thing that I'm focusing on is the whole idea of this is to not get people to your YouTube channel, but it's to get people back to your campus. Everything comes back to your blog post. Everything comes back to the content you created on YouTube that you posted on your website. And one of the things is, I'm talking about going to a blog. One of the things that LearnDash does that's kind of interesting is that it allows you to do single lesson courses. So a course doesn't have to be 10 lessons and 8 modules. You can technically have a course with one video. And it's like a blog post, but you can direct people there and make it free. They have to register, make it open so they don't have to register, make it paid. But everything goes back to that, and you're distributing all of your messages out somewhere, but it's coming back to your campus. So it's that whole hub of your business, education business, is a campus, and you've got all of these spokes all over, and everything's funneling into it. Great thing is if you have their email address, and this is why I'm giving away free registration on the site. Once I have the email address, it's the bottom end of the hourglass. I can send people to individual courses, individual products, individual services using the Fluent CRM and the email marketing. That allows me to send people where I can earn money. So think of it as a big hourglass, right? You've got YouTube at the top creating content, and we're repurposing it all these different ways. All of it directs down to your membership site where you're capturing email addresses. And from there, we use the tools to distribute or send people to places where we can earn money, these multiple money spokes. So that's a system that we're set up. I really think that short form is going to be important for the next year or so. And we're going to see a lot of great stuff in short form. And if you are not a great video editor, or if you don't necessarily want to get involved in it personally and talking to your phone, doing live events and doing these recordings kind of thing for courses and using a tool like Repurpose allows you to quickly take stuff you've already done, your digital exhaust, and capture and repurpose it for marketing purposes. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit in terms of the of the short form stuff. Again, if there's any questions or comments, make sure to put them in the comments below. If you haven't already done so, give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and make sure to visit teachonline.io and join our community there. The other thing is if you think this stuff is all great, but you don't want to have anything to do with it, go to trainingsites.io and talk to one of us there to get you set up without you having to do the work. So we can help you start, build, grow, manage your campus as well there. So I want to do one thing just before I end for today, because I have been ranting. We're at 67, 80 minutes. Holy mackerel. This is the second session I did today too. So I've been 2 hours and 20 minutes. I did another hour this morning on another live webcast. So the other thing that we are doing, I'll just go over some of the tools that I'm using to actually capture what I'm doing. We use TechSmith from Camtasia to do screen captures and video editing. We use Ecamm for our live captures, and we use that Insta360 Link, which is the webcam that we use. Again, great tool. The other ones we're using is I use Xmind for the mind maps that we do. I use the Elgato Stream Deck. This is the tiny micro one, and I need a bigger one. And this allows you to switch back and forth between screens and do some neat things on the site. So for example, some of the things Ecamm does is I can, if I've done a good job, I could go, I could give myself a big applause, or I could do a party. There we go. So I can do some neat things with there. I want to set that up so it works with the Stream Deck so that I don't have to find it with a mouse on the screen. But But those are some of the tools that we're using there. The one thing I will say with tools is you have to get comfortable with them, and there's no perfect one. You have to find a setup that works for you specifically. That's the one that I've got set up. Whether it's the best one, don't know. Doesn't matter. It's got to be one that works specifically for you. What other ones do I have here, just to make sure? I've got the Xmind, the Stream Deck, the Ecamm Live. I will say, yeah, the other thing that is happening as well is Zoom is kind of being replaced. And I'll talk about that just briefly. Zoom is being replaced, and here's the reason why. When you have a Zoom call, you get a video that basically shows the Zoom call, whatever happened on the Zoom call. It's not modular. You're kind of stuck with what it is there. Doesn't allow you to switch back and forth easily or transition to different pieces, different speakers, screen captures and headshots. It doesn't give you the opportunity to do that in a nice way for teaching. If you have multiple people on a live event, it can be a real nightmare just figuring out how to get it so that it shows the content that you want. So what's happening is there are a number of tools for webcasting to YouTube or live casting to YouTube that are giving you files that are great for teaching and using in the system I just went over. So I'm thinking of things like Melanap, Riverside, StreamYard, OBS. These are all tools to look at because they basically give you great videos that you can use to either cut up in small pieces or actually do the teaching for the lessons and courses online. And if you have one of those tools for as little as $20 a month, you can actually put together, do an hour presentation into one of these tools, and then just slice in terms of 6 minutes here, 7 minutes there, 12 minutes there. You can do a whole course in one sitting and just cut and edit that recording and have individual lessons and have your own courses set up quickly. Doesn't take much at all. And you don't even have to show your head if you don't want your face. But you get a video that you can use. It looks professional. If you had a PowerPoint slide, a screen to show, you're all set there. So that's kind of what's happening in the background for course creators. Again, it's a huge opportunity right now for anyone who just wants to teach online, to share their passions, to be involved in educating other people and sharing a bit about their experiences and stuff that they've done, all for the purpose of just because they want to share, or if you want to build a business and sell courses and build a whole community and campus. Totally up to you, but there's a bunch of pieces that you're going to have to go through. It can be as simple, as complex as you want. And if you have questions, make sure to ask at teachonline.io. Just get in the Getting Started form there, ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And also, if you have specific videos that you want to watch, don't be afraid to ask them there and say, could you do something on this? And I'll make sure to do one up. Whether it's a one-off that we'll put on YouTube if it's appropriate and back on the campus, or if it's a live session like we do every Wednesday at 1 here. So I'm going to wrap things up. This is James Maduch speaking. Like and subscribe to the channel, of course, helps me out. Visit teachonline.io, sign up, register for our community, and I want to thank you very much. So take care, expect the best, and we'll see you again next time. There you go.